Good afternoon, good morning, welcome everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul, you have shocked me. The surrounding, what's going on? Have you moved house? Is it the
I
mold treatment? What you doing?
yeah, exactly. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Good, good. I'm in our nation's capital today, meeting with the director of the CME, and trying to get our taxes reduced for futures. No. Yeah, I'm in a different location today. I'm in DC, so just hanging
Oh,
out.
very
But
nice.
how you doing? You good otherwise?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing
Good.
good. Looking forward to another day. And yeah, yeah, ready to go.
See what the markets have for us today.
Should we get on with the rundown? Hi, Alex.
Yeah, let's do it.
So the main thing is the minutes that we had coming out last night. And there was nothing new from them in terms of they're not going to rush to cut rates. That was expected. But what was a bit new was that they were considering pausing or slowing the balance sheet runoff. But basically what they're thinking of doing is slowing the pace of quantitative tightening, which is the opposite of quantitative easing. So in other words, they're making conditions, not that they're making them easier, they're just not making them as tight so quickly. So they're holding back on making the conditions tight. So it has the same immediate effect of QE. So weaker dollar, bid into bonds, and S&P 500 NASDAQ upside. So that's why we've had a little bit of positive sentiment coming in overnight. It was that thing that the people focused on for the minutes. So that means that sentiment is like reasonably positive. If you look at volatility though, it's a bit higher, and there's been a bit of a
bit more from bone
two-way
theory.
action,
Does not think
basically.
that heat exchangers will be a problem to move from the 5 to 7 on a month rate for the 787.
Kind of there's a little bit of two-way action, but there's a bit of positive sentiment out there, so that's the way to read it. We'll be looking at the order flow to make our assessment, and you can see that slight bid come into bonds overnight, just that pressure on the yield to the downside. So bonds are being bought on that QT news. Bonds are being sold off in Europe though, and I'm reading that what's going on is that European countries are working out that defense is going to cost them a lot more, so they're going to have to spend a lot more, and that means they're going to have to finance that from individual countries. So that's just a pressure on the euro and a pressure on the eurozone generally. So that can also explain some of the negative downside in European stocks. Commodities have been broadly supported on the weaker dollar. And you can see the dollar's been a bit weaker, which is on that QT story. Now, it's not a big story, but it's what markets are focusing on, the potential. And remember, they haven't slowed QT and they haven't paused QT, but they spoke about that they could do it. So that's the kind of place it's at. Then in terms of data that we've got coming out, we've got a couple of Fed speakers coming out during our session. So we've got Goolsbee coming up. Let's see, Goolsbee's coming up at 2:30, so just as the market opens. And then we got Muslim coming up at 3, and then got a whole flurry of speakers after our session finishes, with Muslim at 5, a press briefing by the White House press secretary at 6, and you got Fed's bar at 7:30, and then Trump at 8. So there's a lot of action to go on in the afternoon. The jobs data that's come out, there's nothing to particularly read from that. Continuing jobless claims, a little bit better than markets are expecting. Initial jobless claims, slightly worse, but nothing to read in the jobs market at all. And then the next big kind of news really out is going to be the German elections on Sunday. So there's a little bit of insecurity for the euro regarding the German elections. And we've got the constant back and forth between Zelensky and Trump now, which has been a bit kind of antagonistic. And European leaders are certainly bemused as to what to do about it. So for now, everyone's just accepting it. But there'll be a kickback at some point when people sort of come out the days and the confusion that they're currently in. So
that's really heating up that relationship. It really is. I mean, there's stuff going over X now about how like Zelensky was meeting with models and posing on magazines, and his own countrymen were fighting, and he wasn't doing. I mean, it's really getting heated now. So it'll be interesting to see, because if that turns into some kind of conflict, that could be destabilizing. Hey, Devon. Hey, Najan.
Yeah. Hey, Devon. Hey. Yeah. And what I sort of put together yesterday was it was Zelensky who criticized Trump first, because he said that Trump sort of consumed a Russian narrative. That was the insult. So that was kind of the insult that provoked Trump. And I was also reflecting when Trump said he's done a terrible job. I think from Trump's perspective, he probably means that in a very specific context as well. He probably means it in terms of people are dying and he hasn't stopped the war.
Yep.
So I think that's probably, that would probably what characterize a good job in a war situation for Trump, is that you're ending it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, because he's argued, basically, he said that there's no resolution, you're not going to win. And so you basically, it's this common sense, it's the whole common sense narrative that Trump has brought to everything, which is not idealistic at all, which is just like, look, you're not going to win the war. It's Russia. European allies should be defending Ukraine a lot more than the US has. It's not the US's problem. We're an ocean away. He literally said in a tweet, we're an ocean away. And so it's just like, he's like, I don't understand what we're doing.
Tariff reciprocity must work for both sides, Šefčovič says. Also says that he's seeking common ground in talks with the US.
Exactly, and it's that pragmatic approach, really. So I think if you read him in that context, I don't think it's as bad as it sounds, if you know what I mean. But European leaders don't know what to do with it.
They are ready to look at lower industrial tariffs.
And we had Keir Starmer, like the UK Prime Minister, supporting Zelensky overnight. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So watch out, Keir Starmer gets a kicking today from Donald.
From the EU's trade chief Šefčovič. Again, one of the key takeaways from this, ready to look at lower industrial tariffs. Says he's seeking common ground in talks with the US. They did discuss the car industry to quite an extent. And he added that tariff reciprocity must work for both sides.
Okay. So, oh yeah, Najim, he wasn't he? I think he was he doing something for Biden? Probably he would be, wouldn't he? Yeah, he wouldn't be a Trump man, that's for sure. Yeah. I think Trump's had so many enemies that if he didn't speak to his former enemies, he wouldn't be able to speak to anyone, would he? He has to get on with it. Yeah. Yeah, good memory, Najam. All right, so in terms of any interest rate expectation changes from the minutes, there's nothing. So no changes that are notable at all. The charts is the next thing to look at. If you look on the overnight, we can see that inventory is negative from the overnight session. And we're now trying to push up where those sellers were trapped here from the 7 a.m. So there's that more positive sentiment that came in. Now on the micros, I just bought in as price moved down to this value area on the daily chart. As we move down to this value area and that value area, with sentiment being positive, just bought in, lightened up as we hit the VWAP and kept one position to run up on the micros with my real account, just trying to play this positive sentiment. The rationale was sentiment is broadly positive. That's a second standard deviation move in a value area. So it makes sense to kind of scale in a little bit as we move down to that region. So slightly contradictory is that inventory is negative overnight, but sentiment is broadly positive, and we'll have to see what the start of the US session brings in. But encouraging that we're starting to see some volume pick up. And one thing I noticed about yesterday, and I know it's easy in hindsight, but actually it's a lesson to learn, is look how low the volume was to start the session.
Yeah.
Look at the lack of aggression, the lack of volume. Whereas if you look at normally, it's a lot higher. So it's just interesting to see that. Is Horatio here? Yeah, Horatio was here. We were looking at the 15-minute strategy didn't work, and obviously if it's on a low volume breakout, it's much less likely to work. And of course, with this big weekly value area, developing value area here. And as Devon pointed out, it was 3 value areas in that region on the daily chart as well, right? So it was a really big area. Yeah, Mark Anthony's got his first 2 points. Well done. Well done, Mark. 5 minutes trap sellers. Let's have a little look at that.
Yeah, Mark's loving that.
Yeah, sellers trapped down 48, 49, 2 points. Lovely jubbly. Nice one, Mark. Very nice. The rhythm is quite rangy, isn't it? We're opening up inside yesterday's value. We've got quite an even profile at the moment, and we're in this range bound scenario. So ranging is the rhythm. The big levels to note on the hourly chart, got a few big levels. So trap sellers here on the 6148, that's an important level, and any trap sellers that we can get up at this 6157, big levels, and then trap buyers if we can get any movement below 6140 is an important level with a potential to go down to that 6135. On the 15-minute chart, big levels to be aware of.
Noting for EM News, Mexican president says she is proposing 2 constitutional reforms today.
Right, we've got those sellers who've just been trapped there against that confirmed value area low here.
It says it will require robust security guarantees to reach an enduring peace in Ukraine.
So important area of support here that we're currently in. Big support levels to be aware of. Any deep dips down to this big support level 6100. We tried to break out of this high yesterday, but we weren't able to close above that level. But what we did have, we had the first close above January's high. That was the first break and close above January's high. So we're in a sort of decent support level. We may have another run up to the upside technically. So this is an attractive area for potentially going long with these sellers trapped along this 6147 region. Also the VWAP defending it and that developed value area here. So that's quite a nice support area that we've just fallen into. Apart from that, that's what I'm seeing today. Paul, how are you looking at things? What's your take on everything?
The big takes today, just kind of trying to trade what I see. Stay away from, big areas of congestion, and just try to find, decent setups. And for myself, me trying to take profit, don't hold too long, take your profit out of the market, reassess. So think about the things that you're prone to do, that you struggle with, and try to set your mind straight for the trading day.
Yeah, that sounds good. So just looking for those very best opportunities, really.
Yep. Look for the best opportunities, but that doesn't mean, I think it's, be aggressive, take trades, but my tendency is to overhold. So
Social says balance budget now, ? Let's give it a shot. Lots of money coming in from tariffs. Do it, DJT.
Yeah. So it's just looking at your own propensities. That's all.
Yeah. Good, Paul. Good. Engaged. Right, now looking at this is a very attractive area. Let's look volatility. It's a bit mixed. I want to see how the mood to the market starts off, but that's quite a nice support area that got developed there. It is quite a balanced market though, isn't it? Like if you get a move there, you might get, I think what I could see is a quick bounce from the open from this region.
Yeah.
So I think I'd take that for a quick bounce, but only a very quick scalp, because we haven't really got any direction.
Yeah.
Have a look at Walmart pre-market. Oh yeah, there's Walmart. Look at that. That's a real drop, isn't it? Look at that.
Wow.
Okay, I've just got a standing order sat down there at the 42.
Okay.
Now, Jem, quite a nice seasonal pattern of strength for Walmart from end of Feb into April. Quite so. Potential dip buying interest. 80% winning trade percentage. even more in recent history. Okay, point of control now moving down here. Inventory is positive. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, that makes sense. Stock beats their numbers, it can move. Yeah.
Okay, so you're getting some absorption here as well. We've got the price falling, but the delta rising. So aggressive buyers are building.
There we go.
Okay, it's had a drop down, and I've just triggered in just to see if I can play this range. Just going to give it a little bit more room, just the other side of this value area here. So just going to give it a little bit of room.
Okay, NVIDIA earnings. Seemed like a pretty convincing drop, but we'll see.
Did, didn't it? Yeah, okay, I'm out of that. That's sort of carrying its way down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just commencing a market update after the US cash open. In terms of indices, they do open lower across the board. This does continue weakness seen on Wednesday for SPX. That's down about 40 basis points. NASDAQ down about 30 basis points. Underperformance seen in the Russell down about 60 basis points, and Dow Jones down about 0.5%. On sector performance, we do see healthcare, the sole sector in the green, up about 0.25%, while staples are the clear laggard, followed by utilities and discretionary. On staple underperformance, that does come amidst Walmart's guidance disappointing on the FY and next quarter. In FX, the dollar is softer in a risk-on environment, with the G10 strength seen across the board, led by the yen and to a lesser extent antipodeans. For dollar yen, that currently sits at 149.86, while JGB yields do gain in the background and Treasury yields see downside. For the Treasury curve, which is currently bull flattening, 10-year yields currently down about 2.8 basis points. And recently we did hear from Treasury Secretary Besson, who noted does need yields to come down for growth to go up. Yields have come down under US President Trump. If we could see that for 52 weeks, that would be great. Elsewhere in crude, prices are firmer after seeing a choppy price action in the European morning. WTI up about 50 cents per barrel at 72.58. Likewise for Brent, up about $0.50 and at 76.60. This for the upcoming energy updates. We do have EIA ahead. That'll be in focus following last night's bigger crude bill than expected.
Okay, so you're gonna look for a breakout here or no?
Yeah, I was just trying to look at that at the 613. I just missed it just as I was switching.
Yeah.
But if I get into 6138, I'll take it there with a couple point stop on it.
Yeah.
So if I can get in
And
6138, I'll
from
take
Ukraine,
it.
they report Zelensky has met US envoy Kellogg.
Okay, now I'm in. So that's 6138. Let's see how far we can go on this. That's on the opening range, that 15-minute breakout, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely more volume this time, which is nice.
Yes.
And one to be aware of it via RIA. Russia's President Putin holds a phone call with Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince.
Okay, so I'm at 3836. Get down to about 34 and I'll just bring it to break even.
I didn't see any news, Devon. Did you
No,
see
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Further on that, between Russia and Saudi Arabia, they will continue to cooperate closely with the framework, within the framework of OPEC+.
Okay, I'm now bringing it to break even. And now let's see.
You could get a nice push through here, potentially.
Just seeing earnings from Leonardo, they do report net debt at 1.795 billion euros. Revenue, FY, that's 17.76 billion. FY EBITDA, 1.52 billion. And for that FY revenue, that's 17.8 billion, above the expected 17.16 billion. At the top of the hour, we do have a couple bits of data for the Eurozone consumer confidence flash, expected to rise slightly to negative 14 from the prior minus 14.2. Also looking out for US leading index change. For monthly expectations, that's a decline of 0.1% after showing that in December. Also looking out potentially for Banxico minutes, although worth noting some other calendars do have it for 5 p.m. London time, 12 p.m. Eastern time. And in terms of a reminder, what Banxico last did, they did cut rates by 50 basis points to 9.5% as expected, although was in a split decision, a 4-1 vote, with Heath, the dissenter, voting for a 25 basis point cut.
Yeah, that thing is just rocketing down. Wow.
Okay, I've just taken profit on that fall.
Nice. Was that 9 points? That was nice.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah. Maybe could have done more, but hey ho.
No, that's good. That's great. Man, this thing is just accelerating.
Yeah, look at that. Very nice. Horatio, did you get in on that one? That was a beautiful opening range breakout trade. What a day.
What a day. What a day.
What a day.
10 seconds.
So, recap on the data. Let me just turn the squawk off. There we go. Recap on the data. Today, we started, believe it or not, with positive sentiment, with the FOMC minutes saying that the quantitative tightening could be paused or slowed. But then I think it was probably Walmart earnings that probably got investors worried. Dow Jones sinking very hard. NASDAQ, S&P 500 quickly following suit. And originally, we're expecting a range-bound day. So bought the extreme of the range around the second standard deviation, only to find stop being hit quickly at the 6137. So just took about 4 points off there, just taking out of the trade quickly. But then we made up for that immediately with an opening range breakout trade going with the momentum. We had the 15-minute candle, and as soon as that closed and we had a break on the 1-minute chart, just went with that break and then took a sell around 10 points down to the 6130. So we had a quick move lower, and that made up for that loss. Then we were playing it on the micros because it was like a high volatility day. I didn't want to get caught out on the standard lots, so dropped down to the micros for the volatility. Tried to buy the extreme a couple of times. We just made a very small profit, basically break-even trades, really trying to play back the extreme. And then the best sort of period of the day was selling back down in line with the trend. So as we saw these buyers getting trapped, and as soon as we saw them stop on the 1-minute chart, we entered in a short, went short, then we saw 5-minute buyers getting trapped again, took another short, 5-minute buyers trap again, took another short. So we took a series, about 4 points there, about 2-3 points there, about another 3 points there. So, 7, 8, 9 points there. Then seeing quite a lot of absorption going on. You can see it down here on the daily chart. You could just see like price was moving flat, but the delta was moving higher. So then had a couple of opportunities just trying to buy in and trying to push higher in line with this absorption that was going on. A break-even trade, exited for a small loss, and then took another final go, and then just come to the end of the session, so just closed out. But still expecting this probably to pop higher. If it doesn't pop higher, what we're looking for is those buyers who've been sort of coming in to quickly get out, and you can have quite a flush lower, which would be a nice trade if that does materialize. But apart from that, that is the day. So not a bad day at all. Nice movements and good opportunities that we had.
Sounds great. All right, everybody. We will see you tomorrow, Friday, last day. We'll wrap it up after that.
See you, folks.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.